Hello and welcome to day 22 of Adventures in Tarot Casting, October 2025. We are back with another spread for today. I had a couple people on Instagram reach out and ask where they could get this book. So I just want to clarify. I don't want to assume that everybody knows. So this book is made by, it's Reflections, and it's from Jerry's Artorama, and the link is in the show notes. It's just a sketchbook. It's just a regular 80-pound paper sketchbook that's good for like markers and all sorts of different media. I want to say watercolor you can use on it, but I wouldn't go so far as to say alcohol markers. That will bleed through, but I use water-based markers like Tombows and stuff like that. And then we, of course, sell the stickers, which is what I've been showcasing in this series, and the stickers are the casting spreads. So my particular book is going to look different than your book because I'm not there drawing these pages for you. So today we are working with Visionary, which is kind of appropriate since this is a sticker based on a page that I drew in my other book when I was showcasing our card stand templates that we sell. I don't have the wooden ones near me. I only have the clear prototypes, and the only reason we don't sell the clear ones is because I don't have any of the clear acrylic, and you can't see it on here. But so basically, I was showcasing how these things work, being the pocket-sized cards and everything. So I will also link these in the show notes in case you were wanting those. But so yeah. And then I had people who were like really liked what I drew because this was all done with Tombow markers and Micron pens. And so I was like, well, I can take a picture of it and make it clear. And this is what we did. So now that you can also enjoy this spread. So again, I always take the card and then I draw what it is here, and then I draw the notes and kind of my own interpretation of what I wrote here, and then in any of the spaces I like to color it in and make it look nice in a 2-page spread, because the whole point is for this is kind of like I don't have to have this card all the time because I have this open, and when I'm doing spreads for myself I can put like this and I can read it, or it's right there and I can read it. So that's just the whole purpose of the book, is to be functional and portable. So again, let's get into it. When I was drawing it, I was showing you, I was like, okay, maybe we'll do a big card here, and then 2 pocket cards, and then the tiles. I wanted to use pretty much each of the type of spaces. I didn't do the hexagonal space, but I did circles, and this could be also an oracle card, which I'm actually going to use the center as an oracle, and then we're going to go out from the side there. And so of course, since it's a new sticker, I wanted to be able to include a spread with it, and that's where we're at. So with this, it's another multi-layered spread, and we have 9, 10, 11 placements. A and B are optional. That's the 2 circles, but of course, for the sake of this demo, we're going to be using them. We have this first placement is the focus, and then the second is here. This is a pocket card. Again, use what you have. You don't have to rush out and go get all the decks and all the things. You can just do the spread on your table if you want. But if you do have the sticker and you do want to use your decks and get playful with your divination, that's kind of where these enter. So then we have 2 is insights, 3 is perceptions, 4 and 5 are the 2 spaces here. So these are read kind of together. These are going to be tarot tiles, and these are the patterns that show up. So you can see I'm trying to keep the theme like visionary related. 6 and 7 are down here, the bottom 2 tiny tiles, and we're going to use those as Lenormand. And then 8 and 9. So these are the highlights, and I did highlights on the bottom because like you'll highlight your eyes with eyeliner or like white eyeliner or whatever on the lower lid generally, and that makes everything pop. That's why highlights is down here. Hindrances is up here because we can close our eye from the top down. So hindrances could be things that you're not seeing. and that's at the top. And then we have the A and B, which are going to be optional, but we're going to use them. So let's just get into it, right? So for the center, you could use an oracle card or a round deck or a regular card. I'm going to use the Round Tarot Original 1909 for the center, and that's going to give us the focus. This is what can be seen, what is being comprehended, what is known. And the only reason I'm not using one of my animal cards is because I'm going to use the portal tiles for the A and B. But the reason I do have a lot of circles in my spreads is because I want to be able to use the creations that I've made, and the Nature's Portals is my round oracle deck. But let's see what tarot says about what can be seen, what is being comprehended, what is known. And we have the Eight of Cups. And see, you just put that there, and that becomes the center of this eye, right? There's our cornea, our iris. The center focus is something that we're moving away from, something that, needs to be, our cups are stacked and we're no longer here. We're going to take it to high ground. We're going to I always hear, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here when I see this. And so then for the pocket cards, that's going to help us interpret this. We're going to be using the Tarot of the Fantastical by 78 Tarot. And that's going to give us some, let's see. The first, number 2, like I said, is the energy that's adding to a deeper understanding. It's elaborating on what is known. So this is telling us why it's time to pack it up and pack it in, right? Why it's telling us we need to move on from here. Why it's telling us that, it's time to go for higher ground. Maybe the waters are really flooding and, we've tried to save it. And it's just, the feelings are overwhelming. So there's no reason to stay. The only reason sometimes people stay is they're just very comfortable in their discomfort. And the Eight of Cups is like, it's time. The breaking point. Let's go. The only thing there are memories, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. You think about cups and how they connect with our emotions and our relationships. And here they are stacked, and the person has their back turned on it. They're not letting these emotions, feelings, guide them anymore. They're going out and being their own guide. So this is energy that's adding to the deeper understanding of why this is happening. And we have the Fool. I swear I shuffled it. You heard me shuffling. So the Fool is telling us it's time for new beginnings. It's time to go out and take that leap. It's time. It's time, it's time, it's time. We will always, there's always the idea of wondering what's out there, but we're so afraid to go do it. Sometimes the fantasy is better than taking that leap, because what if we fail? And then somebody back here, or maybe it's your own inner critic going, told you so. But I like to say, what if it works? So the Fool is saying, hey, here's some deeper insight, deeper understanding. It's time to take a leap. It doesn't matter, because here is no longer sustainable. And going forward in this perception spot, this is the energy to discern. This is going to help us push through that fog, right? Help us combat the naysayers, help us combat our own inner critic, help us go out there and make this journey, the walking away, what we're going towards, helping us get through it. Let's see. And we have the Three of Cups. How cute is that? So the Three of Cups is saying, you know what, you're going to meet people along the way. There's going to be some of your biggest fans and biggest, you're going to be so much more fulfilled, and you're going to wonder why you didn't take that step sooner, right? Like, it shows me that the Eight of Cups is walking away from this, even though this might have been comfortable, towards something that's just happier. And look at all the water, like I said, how the water just feels like it's pouring in. They're in the treasure chest together. They're like, we got this, and you got the fish spiraling underneath and everything. Like, it doesn't matter the climate or the situation, as long as you're with the people who help bring you joy. It really doesn't matter what the terrain forward is going to look like, right? And so then 4 and 5, we're going to bring in the, where are we at? Oh, those are the tarot tiles. And this is what keeps happening or contributing. So these are the patterns that keep coming up, right? I have them in the corner of the eye because it's kind of like the things that make us tear up or crest up, or, just what gets caught in the corners of our peripheral. And this is what keeps happening, and they help keep you focused, and your focus in check. Sometimes you have to clean them out. Sometimes you got to dab your eyes, but it's kind of that peripheral energy, and there's the patterns. And a lot of times we don't see the patterns happening until we're in them. And one of the patterns is the 5 of Swords. Perhaps there's so many arguments that are just unwinnable. And that's a pattern, right? And then we have the 10 of Cups. And what's showing there is like, yes, this is probably why you've stayed, or we've stayed through the discomforts for so long. Because after the unwinnable argument, we go, oh, but this is my happy place. This is my home. And it's so cyclical. You're going, oh, another unwinnable argument. Another time I said something that has burnt that bridge and really just dismantled it. Or another time that person has said something to me that thus pushes it even further. But then you think about, you get the rose-colored glasses and you think about going, but this is my home. This is where I'm happiest. This is where I'm safest. But the 8 of Cups is telling us this is an illusion. Like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here any longer. And if that is your home, then you have to take the leap and be the fool and understand that you are so supported in the people who are around you that lift you up. Amidst these rising tides, they're still lifting you up. They're still having fun. It's enjoyable, and it's bringing you closer to what this actually should look like. And you're getting away from the arguments and the winning at all costs. And it doesn't matter who the aggressor is. This is like a lose-lose situation, right? And then the Lenormand. So we have our highlights, the highlight reel down here. Highlights, these are the actions, advice to stay on track. What is affirming? This is something to carry with you on this journey. And you see how, I want you to see how like 3 different tarot decks, right? The whole point of these casting stickers, we have 3 different tarot decks, and they're all contributing to this greater story, and they have different tones. It's like we could all be living in the same time, but each time we gather, we're going to bring in our different viewpoints, and that's what using multiple decks does. It brings in different energy, and it invites them to come and have their say. Sure, I could have done this with all the same deck, and it may have lined up this way, but I just love how it's unfolding. I think this is a really good one. So let's see, the highlights. This is help to stay on track, what we can carry with us. And I have 2, and we have the whip and the clover. And just with those 2 together, I think of them as like, this has been a decision, maybe the discourse that's been going on back and forth. And then the clover is saying, look, this is a new opportunity. You just have to seize it. It's going to come quick, and it might be fleeting, but you have to take it. So, but there might be multiples of those. So don't think that this is your last chance. Like, understand that it's a chronic opportunity that's going on. And all that's waiting for you is to stack your cups. So the hindrance, what has been probably weighing down, this is to help release it. and we have child and scythe. And what's waiting, you know, I feel like in this particular instance with the child and the scythe, it's saying you're waiting for something new to come so that you can sever the ties. And that could be a hindrance, because maybe something new doesn't show up and you have to just go out where you are now. Like I always like to say, start where you are. But if you're constantly waiting for something new, you're going to constantly be waiting for something new. So the scythe is saying, cut that. You get to make your something new, right? And now we have above, and this reveals the overarching energy and ties into 8 and 9. So these will play together. And then below, which is a foundation for the undercurrent of the situation, and it ties into the whip and the clover. And we're going to be asking our animals for that. So the above energy is the skunk. And the below energy is the lynx, or the bobcat. Lynx is what I have in the guidebook. So the skunk energy with the child and the scythe, this above, this is the overarching. It's saying, you know what, at first thought, this stinks, right? You want something new to start. You need to be able to sever the ties. But skunk also is like, hey, you have a reputation. Your reputation precedes you. And so this ties into it. It could be a hindrance because you're too attached to that story, and that's not really who you are anymore, right? But the skunk is also a very playful character. It also ties, I believe, ties into the sexuality of people. But allow that energy, allow your reputation to precede you, allow people to misjudge you, let them, and you can go out and do your own thing anyway, right? But it could be a hindrance because maybe you're agreeing with that, and you don't have to agree with the drama or what people are saying behind your back. You know, let it stay behind your back, just like this 8 of Cups energy is saying that's in the rear view, right? And so going forward, we have this lynx, which is tied into the opportunities, the chronic opportunities. And what is the lynx but a giant cat? And you're going to land on your feet. You're going to be able to go out there and be feral and wild and land on your feet. And this is the opportunity. It's waiting for you. So that is the visionary spread. It's helping you see a bigger picture. And I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I think it was fantastic. I know a couple people I want to send it to. Even though it was a demo, I still feel it's poignant. And let's see what we're working with tomorrow, shall we? Now that it's such a small pile, I've just been shuffling like this with my eyes closed, so I am not biased on what comes up. And stop. We have Iguana Wisdom. I love this one. I love the iguana. So we'll be going from the vision to the feelings tomorrow, to sensory. As always, like and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to tell your tarot-loving friends if you enjoy this reading. Make sure you share it with somebody that they might find it of use. And again, like and comment and subscribe and all the things. Follow me in all the places, and I will be here tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye.